And welcome to Fox News Sunday Panel Plus with Bill Kristol, Joe Trippi, Karl, Rove, and Evan Bayh. So let's talk vice presidents. Let's talk running mates, because both of them were in the news this week. And the conventional wisdom is, maybe you get a bump right out of the gate after the announcement. But in the end, people vote for the top of the ticket. Do you think, and obviously Biden had a pretty bad week, Ryan had a pretty good week, do you think when it really comes down to it in October and as people go into the polling booths in November, either of these guys is going to make a difference?
I think the pick of Ryan could make a difference, and probably will make a difference, because I think the pick of the running mate can tell you quite a lot about the prospective president. I think picking Dick Cheney in 2000 helped George W. Bush get over the hurdle of, is he up to being president, running against an incumbent two-term vice president, Al Gore, who was then thought to be a pretty serious guy, later gave away that reputation. I think Reagan's pick of Bush in 1980 showed that he was big enough to take the leader of the opposite wing of the party and put him on as his vice president. He didn't just take some yes man. I think Clinton's pick of Gore in 92 helped him a lot. It really solidified the notion that this was a new kind of Democratic ticket. It wasn't the Dukakis-Mondale party. So I don't buy the argument. I know everyone says that VPs don't matter. They may not matter that much themselves. People don't say to a pollster, I'm voting for the ticket because of the number two guy. But the overall effect of the vice presidential pick going forward, the pick itself and then the next 2 or 3 months, I think really can make a difference.
And before I bring in your colleagues here, what about Biden? He obviously had a bad week. Clearly not talking about that he was in North Carolina, Virginia, but the line about put you all back in chains was offensive. Question, have people discounted that? Do they just think, well, that's Joe? Or do you think that's really any kind of a drag?
Well, to the degree they've discounted it, though, what does that tell you? It tells you that they've sort of, this is Obama-Biden ticket, Biden makes these goofs. It does take away from the sort of excitement of that Obama had in 2008. And again, I think it does, as I said earlier, it sort of makes it possible for the Republican ticket to be the new exciting ticket, and Obama-Biden to be those guys we're used to, and Obama himself defends his record, and Biden makes these goof-ups. But there's nothing really mobilizing or exciting, I'd say, about that ticket.
The one thing, Joe, that I did notice, and picking up on what Bill said, when Ryan recently has been talking about our generation, we all know, and again, it's another cliche, that elections are always about the future, not about the past. Suddenly it was the Republicans. Now, you can agree or disagree with his ideas, but suddenly he was the one speaking sort of for change, more so than President Obama.
Well, I think Ryan definitely brings a youth element to the ticket, and I think it helps Romney. But I think, look, in the end, I don't really think the VP pick has big effect. It can have small effects that really do matter. I think Ryan may put Wisconsin into play, and we may look back though and wonder if Romney loses Florida, should he have picked Rubio? In other words, the pick actually could have made a difference and I don't mean just by putting Medicare on the, front and center in the debate. So it's too early to tell, but I don't think, first of all, I don't think the Biden thing is going to matter at all in this election. But I think Ryan, we don't know how he's affected the race yet. It could be the thing that puts this over the top for Romney by bringing some states into play. It could also cost him the election.
Karl.
I think Bill is absolutely right. This says a lot about Mitt Romney, and it's a very positive statement. Vice presidents, at the end of the day, don't make a big impact in and of themselves. They make an impact only to the degree they reinforce the message of the principle, which is why Biden's a problem. When you stand up there and say they all are going to put you all back in chains, whenever a political figure adopts a phony accent, you know he's about ready to make a mistake. It diminishes President Obama, because President Obama finally, it was not saying, well, it's offensive or sorry if anybody was offended. And it just sort of, his campaign went out and said, okay, we stand by it. And it just adds to the image of the Obama-Biden ticket as a conventional political ticket. Chicago Paul, who's running for re-election, running counter to the image that he created 4 years ago. So the Paul Ryan's choice this last week by Mitt Romney elevates Mitt Romney. Joe Biden's comments, bring down President Obama.
Just quickly before I bring the senator in, if he had picked, and I don't expect you to trash him, and I don't want you to, but if he had picked a Rob Portman or a Pawlenty, Romney had, nice men, solid, stable, would that have been a negative in the sense that it wouldn't have shown that he wants to make this about, that he played it safe?
Well, there was a lot of belief that he was going to go that way just because he play it safe. But look, this is why this choice is so energizing. It says that Mitt Romney wants to make these big issues, putting our fiscal house in order, reforming these great social safety nets before they fray and break, growing our economy. I mean, one of the things that we've sort of lost in the discussion about Medicare that we're going to hear a lot about in the weeks ahead is pro-growth policies. Let's grow our economy. Let's create jobs and paychecks, better paychecks for every possible American. And these things are going to be part and parcel of the dialogue for the next 80 days. And this is what Romney wants the campaign to be about, and he figured this was the best choice to help him make those arguments.
Simon.
Chris, I think the Ryan pick is helpful to Romney, but not transforming. Look, I don't think you can underestimate the importance of personal chemistry. The two of them seem to work well together. Ryan seems to bring out something a little more authentic out of Romney. That's good. He energizes the base. He brings a happier face to conservatism rather than just sort of root canal type conservatism. All good. But it still comes back to the principles. And with Romney's likability rating being so low, with the president having a real advantage in terms of who stands up for the middle class, that's still a real problem for Romney. So I think it is helpful, but not transformative. And the Biden thing, Joe Biden is Joe Biden. Occasionally he's given to, he's candid, he's authentic, but occasionally he's given to rhetorical excess. Didn't really hurt Obama 4 years ago. I don't think it's going to hurt him now.
All right. So much for the week one, and I think we could all say that if 4 years ago we had talked at week one, what we would have said would have been very different than what we said after week 10 about the campaign. So this will change, a work in progress. Thank you, panel. Please check in with us throughout the week. Tell us what you think about Biden and Ryan. Look for my Monday edition of Wallace Unplugged about our very exciting show next week. You'll find it right here at foxnewssunday.com. And we'll see you back here next Sunday from Tampa, Florida.